Hey!
Oh, we're taking them off.
I can't breathe in this thing. My goodness me, no wonder David Prowse is grumpy.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hi.
That was fun. All righty, who's excited to talk about Star Wars? We are too, and I'm very excited to get out of that. I combed my hair beforehand. That was probably not necessary.
Thank you.
All righty. So we are from Hasbro. We're excited to talk about a little Star Wars, little property called Star Wars. It's very exciting. So this is...
It's so very long. Hello at the back. Thank you. Hello. Hello, lady in the green. How are you doing? All right, don't talk to her others. Hello. Hi. Hi, kids. How you doing?
So this is Steve Evans.
Hang on, I've got to catch up now. Hello, yes, I'm Steve Evans, Design Director for Hasbro. Welcome to our little show.
Absolutely. My name's Patrick Schneider. I'm Senior Brand Manager for Hasbro Star Wars, and we've had a great few days here at New York Comic Con. We've been here for about 4 days. Seems like longer and shorter at the same time.
It's amazing.
We had some great media desk sides on Thursday. Met with a lot of great fan groups. See some of them in the crowd. Some great media outlets. I got some news out. I know it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's good. Friday we had a live stream on Sci-Fi where we revealed some more items. But we're excited for this, the big Kahuna. We've got a lot of exciting news to share.
The only thing is, there's usually more of us here. It's like me and Patrick, and that's because the rest of the team are kind of working very hard on just a little movie,
Little indie film.
A little indie film that's coming out at the end of next year. So I see there's some younger kids, younger fans at the front.
Ones.
Anyone fancy actually sitting up here with us today and help us out with the presentation? If you do,
Yeah. Anyone want to
Oh well, those two. This guy here. Yep, you.
There we go, right there.
And there. Yeah. Why don't you come up?
Come on up.
You come up, and
Yes,
you two.
panelists.
Thank you. Thank you. I need two. Thank you so much. Anyway, coming up here, Link, or are you Robin Hood? Link. Okay.
Come right over there.
Come sit next to me. Move this out of the way. And this is where never work with animals
Come on
and
up, Mr.
children.
Incredible, right here.
He's the animal.
Right here.
What's your name? Diego. Hey Diego, how you doing? All right? Having a good time? Is that on for Diego? Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
It's Diego, everyone.
Hi, Diego.
And what's your name, young man?
My name is George.
That's awesome. George, say hi to the crowd.
Hi, George.
Hey, what up?
A good strong name there, George. I love it. All right. Okay. So we're gonna kick off. I'll kick off.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to help me because I'm rubbish at this. All right. Yeah. You're good. All right. Okay. So let's start off with some news. I'm sure many of you will be tuning in tonight to watch Resistance. They're gonna let you stay up. It's like 10 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah.
10 o'clock? Okay. So Resistance.
Worth it.
Resistance will be airing tonight, and you may or may not have seen that we revealed some of our figures. We're going to kind of just recap so everyone who hasn't seen it can see them before we get into some new reveals. So Resistance airing tonight, and our new figures will be out in spring 19. Do you like those, Diego?
Yeah, the golden one.
The golden one. He likes the golden one. All right, well, I like the golden one too. So we got Kaz. And I love his hair. I know some people have made a comment that he's got the same hair as me. He's not great. He's just shaved. We got Toradoza, we got Sinara, we got Major Von Reg. Do you reckon he's good or bad?
Bad.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. Gold Commander Pirate, which is Diego's favourite, everybody. So, Mum, wherever you are, or whatever, make sure you get lots of those for Diego. And a Stormtrooper as well. So there are single figures instead. For Resistance, as I say, will be coming out in the spring. We also have some double packs. So our double packs, this is cool. We got Poe Dameron and BB-8. You like BB-8?
Yeah.
You know I'm going to do this all the time. You okay with that? Yeah, that's good. So you're doing brilliantly. George, are you okay over there?
Yeah.
We'll get some stuff for George.
Yeah, George.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got Jaeger and Bucket. And as you can see, Bucket, when I saw that reference, I was like, oh, thanks. How am I going to make that out of plastic and 3/4 inch? It's all the in cuts and through cuts and undercuts and every other way you can cut it. He was a challenge, but he's a great new character. George, you're going to like him. He's cool. All right. Okay.
Just go with it, George.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
And yeah, just humour me, George. So in terms of talking about fun and funky, we kind of showed some stuff on our Microforce, which is our little squishy, or
What do you say?
I said
squidgy?
squishy. No, I
You
said
said
squishy.
Yeah.
I
I've
say
been saying squidgy
squishy.
all weekend.
And
I
he
don't know
says
what that means.
squishy. Like,
I
why
say it
can't
the right
work
way,
it out?
right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So as the year is wrapping up, we announced our Microforce Advent calendar, which comes with 24 little cute little figures, feedback, a load of chase figures, and of course our sort of holiday themed figures. So you'll get a Porg with a Santa hat. What more could you want? What more could you wish for?
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, yeah.
George is very happy about that.
George is
George
excited.
Lucas, I mean George, not you.
Both Georges.
You're more important, George. Okay, so this is going very well.
We're gonna have to get this back on the rails there.
All right, where we going now? It's fine. So that's Microforce. So if you haven't got that already, go and get it.
Absolutely.
All right, okay.
Alrighty. So next we're going to recap our desk sides for Black Series. Yeah, and here's some applause. We're gonna... My favorite of all these colored series. So we had a great, like I mentioned, we had a great Thursday with fan sites and media outlets. We walked through our Fall 18 line. We've got some great items in store right now. Force Effects Riot Baton, this Darth, yeah, you can see them all there. This Darth Vader helmet. We've got Dewbacks, Enfys Nest speeders, vintage assault tanks, new Black Series and vintage figures. So we walked through those. We also recapped some items that had been revealed, but we're showing for the first time here in the US. You can see up there, right there in the middle, Han Solo in his Minband Trooper outfit, and Dryden Voss from Solo, A Star Wars Story. Both of those were revealed outside the US in Canada and Mexico, shown for the first time here in the US, really exciting. And then you can see those beautiful Force Effects lightsabers. We revealed those at San Diego Comic-Con, but showed them for the first time here, and those are on pre-sale right now. So if you like the cut of the jib of those lightsabers, head to all major retailers. They're pre-selling them right now, which is cool. And we had some new reveals on Thursday, never seen before, which we'll talk through right here. So the first is our Archive line. So Archive is our line of greatest hits, or Hall of Fame Black Series 6-inch figures. Basically, I've given this spiel so many times, but we talked with fans like you here at conventions, at San Diego Comic-Con, at other cons, who said, I love what you're doing with the Black Series, which is very nice to hear. But you said, but you put out the main characters 5 years ago when it launched. Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett. You know, how can I get those? Because they're selling for hundreds of dollars on the aftermarket. So we said that's a great point. We thought about re-releasing them in the original packaging, but then for people who bought them, that wouldn't be fair to them. So we released a new line of Archive figures. You're seeing the line look right here. We announced our first wave of 2019 at San Diego Comic-Con. On our live stream on Friday, you can find it on YouTube, we went into a deep dive for the packaging, which was really cool. And we also revealed our Wave 2 for 2019. We see them up on the screen here. The first one is Anakin Skywalker. Very cool. I think the most expensive Black Series figure on the aftermarket.
The last time it looks like $120.
Exactly. Crazy. Now available in the archive for $20, which is great. So, great example of the photo... Great example of the photoreal deco that we're applying to these figures for the first time. Anakin will come with his, slightly nicer Jedi face, and then the red eyes Sith face.
George, do you like Anakin when he's nice or when he's evil?
I would have to say when he's like before he becomes evil.
Oh,
your parents are very happy to hear you say that. Yeah. There we go.
So I ask you, Diego, do you prefer Anakin when he's a good Jedi or evil Sith?
Probably the evil Sith, but it's
Diego's being honest here.
Yeah, you can see that cliche coming a mile away in terms of, he's going to go bad. Well, everyone knew he was anyway.
Absolutely.
Carry on, Patrick.
Moving on. So that's Anakin Skywalker, Luke's real father. We also said, well, we should probably bring back Luke's, what I like to call spirit or force father, which is Yoda. So we're bringing Yoda into the archive. Great figure, highly sought after, great sculpt. And Steve will talk a lot about how the sculpt is great.
Yoda was a good one for me because Yoda's a sweet spot. It's like a main character, super popular, going for a decent amount of money in the secondary market. And I'll be honest, the sculpt was good, but the deco wasn't when we first released him. I didn't rate it that highly. So the ability to bring photoreal technology to Yoda, I think, is perfect. Large eyes, got all the grooves and wrinkles and creases. We can get a really good look for Yoda. We can make this the best logo, the best Yoda ever.
Absolutely. And then for our final slot for fall of 19, we released Yoda and Anakin in our mainline assortment, but we've also released figures in other places, in convention exclusives, in higher price points. So we decided to bring back the Biker Scout Trooper, who was originally released with a speeder bike at $40. Maybe that price point was too high, so we're bringing him into the $20 archive assortment. Army Builder, really cool looking trooper. So that is our archive wave for fall of 19, which was very exciting. But we also had some of our exciting Black Series 6-inch figures, including this guy right here. Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi in his clone trooper armor. So this one was really cool. So we're in a golden age of Star Wars where we've got so much entertainment, and we're really inspired by the animated entertainment. We're slowly completing our Ghost Crew from the Rebels entertainment, and Clone Wars is coming back in 2020. We're super excited about that. I saw a little dab right there. That's nice. That's awesome.
Commander Dab.
But we went even further back than that to the Tartakovsky.
Easy for you to say.
Tartakovsky animation. This guy looks so cool, so we wanted to bring him into Black Series. As you know, Black Series takes animated figures and does them in a realistic styling. So this is Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor in his episode 3 look with that great clone armor. Really cool looking. We're really excited about him.
Hello there.
Absolutely, I know. Hello, Obi-Wan. What do you think, George? You like him?
I love him.
I love him. That's great. George is getting into this. That's great.
Diego's drawing a sword. What are you going to do? What are we going to do with that?
This could get weird.
I kind of wish I had him.
I know you can have him next year. That's perfect, George. So that was George's parents are like, this is not good.
George has seen this.
George wants a lot of this. So that was an exciting reveal at our desk sides, but we had an even bigger one, both literally and figuratively, that Steve will tell us about.
I will. So prequels. Who loves the prequels? Hands up. Come on, be honest. Yeah. You like the prequels?
Yeah.
Okay, don't be shy. Yeah, Diego loves prequels. So we're seeing a lot more prequel love, and as we've mentioned, we've got some Black Series prequel reveals to make. Not today. But, no, I know. But it's coming. And I'm like, all right, George. Security.
George, keep it coming, George.
So we are going to be revealing those between now and the end of the year. But one we did reveal the last couple of days was one that I have been asked for, the team has been asked for many, many times. And it is the one that I get pinned up against the wall. George, people get me up against the wall and they say, "Oi, Evans, make this figure. Where is it?" George, can you guess who's big and tall from the prequels? I'll give you a clue.
Make them suffer.
Oh, and we didn't want to make you suffer anymore. We thought we'd give you what you wanted. Old Commander Dab down here knows exactly who that is. Who is it? Shout out loud.
General Grievous.
That's
We got
right.
General Grievous. So General Grievous will be with us in the spring. Finally, George. Goodness me. Will be with us in the spring of 19. 7 inches tall. Incredible soft goods. Comes with little pockets in his cape so he can put his Jedi hilts, lightsaber hilts in there. The coolest thing about this is that the arms actually snap together, so you can have 2-arm version or 4-arm version, depending on how you want to do it. And he came to us eventually because we had to create a new price point for him. He's $29.99 because of all the soft goods, all the complexities and the size. We tried to get him in $19.99, but we just couldn't get him into that price point. And I didn't want to do him badly. I'd rather do him complete with the soft goods and stuff. So he ushers in a new era of larger-than-life Star Wars figures that we'll be able to bring to you. I have no excuses anymore by saying, "Oh, he's just too big. I can't do it." And also, clearly ushering our new prequel reveals, which we'll be looking at shortly. And one of them, as I keep saying, is probably one of my favourite applications of photoreal I've ever seen. I love it. So, that's General Grievous.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so, good panel so far. I'm seeing some happy faces, but I know you guys are like, this is great. You're recapping this. We read about it already online. Where are the new reveals? So those start now. Who's excited for those? These are actually, I love it, George. Love the enthusiasm. So these are actually our first reveals of the weekend for our mainline Black Series assortment. So as mentioned before, so many different entertainment sources these days. So our next figure, George is going to read it off for us, comes from a brand new entertainment source for Black Series. George, can you read those 2 words right there?
No.
Let me whisper it to you.
Dr. Afra.
Yeah! Woo! That was awesome. All Alrighty, so Dr. Aphra, obviously a great figure from the comic books. This is New York Comic Con. What better place to reveal it? So the character is only a few years old, but has gained a huge following. We actually did a vintage collection, our other favorite fan line. Fan vote, last year at Celebration, she won, was the top choice among fans. We did her in vintage. We early released her this past year at San Diego Comic-Con. So all of our Black Series fans were like, well, where is she for Black Series? I'm seeing the nodding heads. So there she is right there. She's really cool. The helmet and vest are removable to get different looks because each artist draws her differently. So the portrait was created from multiple sources. And for those cynical ones out there, it is not a direct copy of our 3 3/4 inch figure. It actually has different, perhaps better, detail and articulation. So Dr. Aphra, really excited to get her into the line.
What I'm going to do now, because Diego and George are up here, and they're not really doing much. Hi, George. No, you're doing wonderful. So what we thought, you know how we always have our prototypes on show when we have a booth, but we don't have a booth. So we've got a new system. It's called the Diego and George sees all the prototypes before anybody else on the entire planet. So, and those of you in the front row can probably get some shots as well. So, Diego, you can't keep this. All right, you've got to give it back, but you get to look at it. You can spin it around, but be very, very careful.
Very careful. People home in Rhode Island are like, their hearts are beating right now.
You can kind of check it out and either give thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to do. And as we move through, George, you'll have some too to look at, all right? And we appreciate your review. You're a reviewer, all right?
Yeah, you'll have to let us know if it's good or bad.
All right, Patrick, who else?
All right, so you may notice only 1/3 of the screen is being taken up right now, and that's because wherever Dr. Aphra goes, her assassin droids are sure to follow. So our next Black Series reveals are 000 and BT1. So 000 has articulated elbows from our 4-long figure, hands that have posable figures so they can now grip, and adjusted leg length to the correct height, which is fantastic. Oh yeah, let's get George into the action there. There we go.
What do you think, George?
Perfect.
Perfect. That's our best review ever. That's awesome. We should do, I know, right? BT1, Mr. Evans is getting him out. He has revised pop-out of body arms with new weapons. So again, refinements for this collection. So he's going to show, oh, there we go.
It's going to go really quick because Diego is getting jealous.
So these are coming in summer of 2019, new Black Series figures, Dr. Aphra with her assassin droids. So those are our mainline reveals. I'm going to hand it over to my friend Mr. Evans for some new exclusive
Got a couple of exclusives. Reveals. Yeah, got a couple of exclusives to show you. It's really cool doing stuff from comics and TV shows and different places, and we found a bit of a left fielder that's actually present in a TV show and a video game that we think's really cool. So we thought we'd bring this to life. It's from you'll see this in Diego already knows what it is. You see this in Rebels, and you'll also see it in Battlefront 2. I love this figure. It's such a cool figure. Yeah. So we got the Rocket Trooper. Commander Dab likes that one. You can tell that one wants to do me. So we have that, and so a lot of people have noticed this stand. They go, well, what's this stand thing? So we're going to pack in these new stands that Patrick is useless at putting together. You got it? We got this new triangular stand, and we kind of come up with a new idea for this, where instead of like holes and pegs, we've got this, I call it a slipper, which everyone laughs at me about. Clearly, that's just a prototype, doesn't work properly. But we're going to pack these in with some of our exclusives to kind of see what people think. And so when you get hold of these, please give us feedback, say, the stands are great, or the stands are rubbish. It doesn't matter. We kind of just use exclusives sometimes to kind of test things out. So there's a triangular shape, which allows a little bit more center of balance. It works better than, we found it works better than a circle to kind of get more dynamic poses, and it also allows figures to kind of be in more battle mode, so you can kind of like slot them next to each other. So look for those in our exclusives going forward. So that's our Rocket Trooper. Now, if you remember, who went to San Diego and Comic-Con HasCon last year? First of all, I should ask you, who went to HasCon last year? Yeah. Fantastic, well done. And San Diego, you'll all recognize this. So this was our 40th anniversary A New Hope diorama that my team spent far too long building. Far too much of their own time and work time building this, but they did such a great job. And there were lots of Easter eggs in this diorama. And one in particular I kept getting pestered about. After they'd beaten me up about Grievous, they then took another slapping on this other little thing that people noticed in a certain trash compactor. So we thought we'd make it real. So we're going to bring our wet head Luke, George. It's a wet head Luke, or officially known Luke Skywalker, Stormtrooper disguise. He's covered in gunge because the trash compactor is not nice, George. It is stinky. It really stinks. So this will be a Target exclusive in spring 19. And he's
Sure, it could be a Stormtrooper.
yeah. All right, I need a drink, so I'm going to steal yours. Okay.
Still yours. There we go.
There's none. So let's talk a little bit about vintage. Over the last couple of days, we announced a couple of figures that we're doing, and we've got a couple more to announce today. Let's have a quick recap. At the live stream, we showed our Han Solo in Stormtrooper disguise, new portrait sculpt based on the Legacy 2009 figure with a new upper torso and a new sculpted helmet. We also announced that we are going to bring back the 41st Elite Corps figure, which I've said this before, third time lucky, or third's the charm.
Third time lucky, what's that?
I don't know, what is it? Third time the charm?
Third time's a charm,
Third time
right?
the charm.
Yeah.
So the first time we released this way back, the deco was all over the place. We didn't have the shins, we didn't have the leg deco, and then when we corrected that, we brought it back, and by somehow it only got kind of released in international markets. So we're going to kind of solve that and bring that back, proper deco, into the US market with properly coloured gloves and belt. It's the little things that matter. George, it's the little things that matter, all right? So, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So there we are. So we're bringing those two. So we got those two. We also revealed and sort of discussed our packaging, because we all know that vintage packaging is just as important in some cases than the product itself. So we went back and we dug back into the archives of Lucasfilm, and we found the Klaatu skiff guard artwork, or the original photograph, which unsurprisingly, I suppose, was cropped really tight to Klaatu. So back in the day, Kenner would have to create this top piece here, and Diego, there was no Photoshop in 1983. How is a very good question. A lot of hand painting, sort of transparencies and flooding, and just airbrushing. You heard of airbrushing?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's very retro. So they had to make those. So when we had our packaging department look at this, they said, hey, we can make that background look absolutely perfect. We can CG in the barriers and the railings, and we can get it looking really, really cool. And we both looked at each other and went, no, you've got to make it look pretty rubbish. Make the card look rubbish, like it was in like 1983. And that's what I love about the vintage collection packaging, is it has this sort of, I use the word cobbled together look. And even new stuff, you see there on our left, our Scarif Trooper, we didn't have film outs when we originally started this after Rogue One. So we have to use sort of set photography and studio photography, and we blend them together, much like they had to do in Kenner in 1983. Lots of things change, Diego. Some things don't. All right?
Good life lesson.
Remember that, yeah. Uncle Steve. So we also talked about Yak Face or Sop Mirai and Leia Bouche. And Leia will, of course, come with a separate bubble for a helmet. Any character that has a Kenner separate bubble back in the day will have it in the new line. And Yak Face was probably as many of you know, one of my favourite figures, but he was a pain in terms of getting this packaging done, because the image that was used for the original 1985 card back doesn't exist. Couldn't find it. Lucasfilm couldn't find it. We couldn't find it. We could have scanned an old card, but then you get this weird moire effect that happens. So we found clearly a photograph that was taken about 12 seconds later, because the difference is he had his arm down in the one on Kenner, but 12 seconds later he obviously went like that, and they took another photo. So I've got that one. So we had to use that photograph and then digitally paint in his arm down. It's all in the detail, Diego. It's all in the detail, all right? So remember that as well. So,
Second life lesson with
wow.
Steve.
You should get you a couch. So there we have our packaging. So the other thing we've noticed is that I'm seeing people buy a lot of stuff at the Barge. They're going out, they're getting onto buying secondhand kind of figures and skiffs and all these kind of stuff, and they're getting ready for the Barge. I liken it to getting a nursery ready for a new baby. Don't worry, your new baby's coming in February for those of you who ordered it. Who ordered a Barge? Oh, Thank you so very, very much. I really appreciate it. So we thought we'd re-release and make sure that the Gamorrean Guard is available for everyone, rather than having to kind of go and pay other people. It's a lot easier to get on. This will be a shared retail exclusive going out, but this will not have its number changed. This will still be VC21. Yes, VC21. And we have more plans to bring in more figures and things to help decorate your barge with in the coming future. But we won't be talking about that today.
Later.
Not quite.
But we will be talking more about the barge itself. So the barge is, I think one of the best things, in Star Wars all year. Like, it was fantastic, and it's all about you guys. We've said this before. We kind of put it in place, but you guys made it happen. We're so grateful and so just honored to be involved in this with you, which is great. And so as a result, we've been taking you on a journey, the barge backers, behind the scenes, really for the very first time. We had a first update in May, where we brought you up to speed with all of the development to date, including the construction of our New York Toy Fair model, exploded model view, the CAD, so a lot of different details there. And then July, our update there was all about deco and soft goods. We shared our final deco board. We actually made a small deco model because it was so huge, so unprecedented, and we took you through our soft goods assembly process. And then last month was so exciting. It's when the barge kind of really started to become a reality. That's when we did tool start. We reviewed our check model with you. We had a video of our tool start, 3D mold layout, etc. We will be sending out our next barge backer update next week, but we are sneak peeking it here today, so you are all seeing it for the very first time, and it's all about the packaging. As my friend Mr. Evans said, vintage, the packaging is as important as the product. It's so iconic, so true. Yes, George knows it. He's a packaging fiend.
George!
So that's what this
George
is.
could fit in the packaging, by the way, everyone.
Actually, that's true, yeah. No, we might as well, not all at the same time, but it's big. I think people are going to be pleasantly shocked when they receive it. So today we're going to share behind the scenes of the photo shoot for the image that will go on the packaging. You will be the first to see the image that goes on that packaging. We'll give you a first glimpse into the rough draft, etc. So first, the photo shoot. We have some images from that photo shoot. So here you can see, obviously, you're the first to see, the barge packaging photo will have the Sarlacc pit there. You can't have Jabba's sail barge without the Sarlacc pit. So each of those tentacles was molded separately and actually contained a wire that allowed us to bend them into position. So a lot of time went into getting that perfect Sarlacc position.
Or we could tell George that they're just trained worms.
Yeah.
George, we trained 8 worms to pose. It's amazing, isn't it?
George isn't as excited about that.
George is older than his years. You brought him up well.
So that's our Sarlacc pit. Up next you can see, so Mark Boudreau there, Star Wars legend. Yeah, let's give it up for Mark. So he is a Star Wars design legend. He designed this. This is his greatest achievement to date. So he is not far whenever there's barge happening. So he literally there, he opened the shutters, and we all just defer to Mark. So he said, this is exactly how the shutters have to be. And we said, fantastic, Mark, we're glad you're here. So that was that. And then our next image, obviously you can't have Jabba's sail barge without his court of denizens. So here you can see the lucky characters that made the final photo shoot. So I could keep talking and showing images, but we actually have a video summarizing that photo shoot, and we're showing the director's cut here today. The one that will go out in the update is 1 minute long. You're watching the minute and a half version.
Hours.
Yeah, I know, right? Settle in, we've got some popcorn now. So yeah, let's all stop jabbering, let's watch it.
It's already a bit of work.
Yeah, I know. small part of the process, right? This doesn't even have to do with the actual product. This is just the image that goes on the packaging.
It's just the box.
Yeah. But so many people involved, so much time. We're so passionate about it, so we're happy to share that with you today. So now you have a sense of the diorama shot that's going to go on the front of the pack, but what about the rest of the packaging? So you can see here, as we set out to design this package, this is a mood board basically, so this is kind of first inspiration for the packaging. So you can see we referenced that original Ewok Village vintage item and other of the larger items, the AT-AT, etc. We actually had long conversations about kind of what style that this should be in, because there have been multiple kind of variations of vintage throughout the years. So that's where we drew that. Due to the size of the box, we decided to include more photography.
Just on that badge, just to be clear, so that the kind of quirky bad sketch is going to be on the back of pack. Yep. Just to make that clear, and you know, we're staying very true to the original. Yeah, very true to the original. So someone's having fun drawing that at the moment. Sorry, back to you, Karen.
No worries. So you can see on the next slide, we had different kind of panels. So top panel, bottom panel, calling out different features of the barge. Again, this is a collector item, but the heritage of those vintage items is that, you know, obviously they were kid-focused toys 40 years ago, and so they called out those features, kind of glorifying the product. So these kind of show you the inspiration for our front panel, back panel, and our top and bottom panels. We have more updates coming out. Our next one after this one will be probably in 2 months before the holidays, and there we will share the final actual packaging that you all will be receiving when the barge ships in February.
All right.
So that's a big vintage item. We have a slightly smaller but no less cool vintage tank that you're going to talk
Indeed.
about.
So we released our vintage tank to the retail just a month or so ago, or about now, and I'm really happy with the response from it in terms of the amount of detail and stuff that Mark's really got onto it. I think he set a new standard for vintage collection quality, and there will be many more vintage collection vehicles. We're working on a few right now, which we will be revealing quite soon. So you'll be able to make up I'm losing my words, Diego. Make up your assault tank with your driver and your new stormtrooper that's going to be coming out soon. Thing missing from this, you got a driver, but hell, you need the blooming commander, don't you? So we'll release the commander into mainline, so you can complete your assault tank. Diego gets to bottom. It is smaller. It's a different scale, Diego. Yeah, this is for like, this is 3 3/4 inch when they were originally produced back in the late 70s. They were that high, and then about 4 or 5 years ago, we introduced this larger scale. Which scale do you like better? Bigger one or
This is
this one?
controversial, Diego.
Do you like, Diego likes the big ones.
All right.
All right. So in terms of Spring 19, these are our reveals so far. So you can see a variety of stuff going on there, some for the barge, some from Solo, some kind of from original trilogy. But there is one family member that we want to add to this for our final reveal today, and that is, it needs to kind of, I guess it needs to project into this family group shot, and that is of course Luke Skywalker. So finally, so we've got a Luke Skywalker crate. Now George, don't break this. All right, so Luke Skywalker crate, as you can see there, coming to the main line in 2019. It's going to be numbered VC146, and he's mean, isn't he? Yeah. What do you mean he looks like Chuck Norris? He doesn't look like Chuck Norris, George. So we wanted to reveal him today here. So just to kind of catch up where we are on vintage. In terms of spring, we've nearly revealed everything. We've got 8 more to reveal, which we will be doing soon, probably towards the end of the year, maybe into the early part of next year. All of those 8s will be original trilogy figures. And then as we move into full 19, with a certain big film at the end of the year, we'll start revealing what we can beginning next year. So we will see you next year for more vintage collection reveals.
Absolutely. All right, so the last part of our So last part here, just a couple housekeeping items, and then we'll have time for Q&A. So vintage collections. So we talked at the beginning of this panel about the archive. That was basically for Black Series 6-inch, bringing those key figures back into the line in a new evergreen packaging. But same situation exists for vintage. We want to bring new vintage fans into this line, but that evergreen packaging already exists. So it kind of faced us with a quandary. So what we're doing, this is mainly for fans outside the US, in other regions where vintage didn't necessarily get 10 years ago. And so we will be very tightly releasing a few of those key figures, and we can show them now. So we're not revealing these. These are not a reveal. So we don't want to fool anyone into thinking we're revealing anything.
We're going to change all the numbers. No, I'm not going to.
Nope, they'll be same packaging. We're just making these available outside the U.S. and to some specific kind of retailers in the U.S. who want to reach those new fans. So these will be re-released to bring those new fans in. Not new reveals, but in exciting ways so that we can deliver kind of these main characters, Luke, Leia, Darth Vader, kind of Boba Fett, foundational to any collection, to the fans who want to get into the vintage, but then of course we'll be making sure that all the new figures get to all fans out there. So again, just wanted to make everyone aware that these will be coming next year. On our last thing that we wanted to chat about, so we announced at San Diego Comic-Con that we're taking the show on the road this year. Star Wars is a global phenomenon. Star Wars toys are globally beloved, and so we wanted to go out and share the love and meet those fans. So you can see up there, we went to Mexico's Unboxing Toy Convention and Canada's Fan Expo. It was really great to meet the fans there, hear what they want, hear their opinions, and share a couple reveals from them. So later this month, we'll be continuing that by heading across the pond to Paris Comic-Con, MCN London Comic-Con, and Lucca in Italy. So again, we're really excited about that. If you're watching this from those countries, come out and see us. Here in the US, make sure you're tuned in. We will be sharing a couple of reveals at each of those. Nothing big, nothing like this, but a couple at each event in both Black Series and Vintage to, again, just share the love. So that's very exciting.
That's good. Well, yeah. Before we wrap up, I kind of wanted to say a big thank you to probably my bestest friends in the whole world, and that's George and Diego. So a big hand for George and Diego. And clearly, I am not taking those Darth Vader helmets home because they are far too big and hot. So George, that one next to you, that Vader helmet, you get to keep that one. And you don't. No, I mean, oh yeah, Diego, you get to keep that one as well. So big hand for George and Diego.
We somehow got through that, even with the delay, in good time. So we have 10 minutes for Q&A. So I'm not sure, is there a microphone back there? Is that how this works? Otherwise, you can shut it out. We have young ears here. So I think I saw that hand right there go up first. Yep.
Is it possible that you guys will be making any Jar Jar action figures in the near future?
Sorry, I think what I heard is it possible that we'll be making any Jar Jar action figures in the future? Darth Jar Jar. Our standard line is that, and it's true in this case, if we're not revealing it here, we can't speak to any future figures, because then that would spoil the excitement when we do reveal it. But certainly we look to all sources of inspiration, so never say never. Yes, right there up in the front, sir.
Oh yeah, I was just wondering about the release date for the murder bots. They had after on the list, I didn't see them.
The release date for the murder. Oh, same timing. So summer of 2019.
Awesome.
They'll all come out in the same wave. They belong together. No, 3 normal Black Series 6-inch figures. Yeah, right there, sir.
After the incredible success, obviously, of the Barge with Hasbro, is there any indication as to whether there'll be a second Hasbro in our future? Is there any hint as to what that will be?
Absolutely. So, similar answer. We're not revealing it today, but you can draw your own conclusions. The first one did extremely well, so we'd have to be, idiots not to follow it up. No hint, sadly. Can't specifically say anything. We've gotten very good at this. What's that?
All I'll say, what we're working on is pretty impossible.
As all HasLab are. Yes, sir, right there.
Two questions. First, why don't you guys have a booth here and do exclusives here like you do in San Diego?
Absolutely, that's a good question. So we kind of look at all the conventions and we kind of choose which ones are kind of larger, and so San Diego is a bit bigger. But this being said, and there are cons throughout the U.S., I think part of it is we did want to get outside the U.S. and connect with those global fans, but we did certainly want to have a presence here at New York Comic Con and engage with the fans here, which is why we do the panel, the live stream, etc.
And the second question, the archive figures, non-human characters, is there going to be any difference from the archive ones to the originals that people had already gotten?
Yeah, so I'll try to answer this. I think some of them will have photoreal deco, right? Like
Well, it depends.
Yoda will?
Well, yeah, it depends. Like if you've got like a helmeted character, there
Yeah.
won't be any
Characters
update.
like
Yeah.
Boba Fett,
Yeah.
IG-88.
They will be the same. We'll try to improve deco, like kind of mask lines if we need to, but in essence, they will be the same.
But they'll be up for the first time in 5 years, which is cool. Yes, right there. Fix the elbows with the Obi-Wan and clone armor. I think he's a new.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest there. I don't know actually on the elbows too much on that one. So sorry, can't answer that one.
We'll take that back to the team and see what's up about that. Yes, right there, sir.
Now the Toys R Us business, are you guys gonna have like exclusives for like Target? I mean, I saw that you had like Walgreens, Target. Are this gonna be like exclusive for those stores or?
Absolutely, yes. So we've talked about exclusives. We know that's a hot button issue. Exclusives are kind of a way for us to get out a more expansive line. We get out items and exclusives that we couldn't get out in mainline. We've had Target and Walgreens exclusives, Walmart exclusives, etc. We will continue to have those in the future. Yep. Yes, young man, right there.
Are you gonna make any Star Wars ships?
Star Wars vehicles. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes, we are. We're gonna make. We're working on a.
We can't say.
few.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say. I've been doing this long enough to know.
You've been doing this longer than I have.
So
yeah.
yes, we will.
Yes.
We will. What's your favourite ship? What do you want us to make?
Millennium Falcon.
Ah, for the little guys or for the big
For
guys?
6-inch scale.
Yeah.
You want it to be big.
12-inch scale, absolutely.
Right. So we will be bringing out a Heroes series scale. Millennium Falcon.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. We'll do our
Good
very
question.
best.
Yes, sir, right there. Yep, you. Yep.
First of all, thank you so much for giving the Black Series line the new face deco. I mean, it's amazing. Every figure has been better than the last one. I just got the Best of Escape Leia. It's like the best Leia figure you guys have made.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
And I've also been enjoying the new Imperial officers that have been coming out. So it's nice to have those up on the shelf and informing them. Veers, I'm trying to get my hands on. I don't know if you can answer this, but is there any chance you're going to do a similar thing for like Rebel pilots? Sort of start building out some more of those characters, like maybe a Biggs or
Wedge.
Blue Leader, stuff like that.
Porkins.
Photo really not
Fake
A lot of
legs.
ideas here. I think.
Have a guess what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You can't say.
I can't say anything right now.
Well, please
But
consider it.
I will
Absolutely.
very much consider it.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fake wedge?
I would do every.
Yeah. We would do the entire Star Wars universe.
I actually want to do big, so I want to get a moustache going on. I want to try out photoreal with a moustache.
But no, just quick note on photoreal. We love it too. That was kind of the biggest thing that fans talked to us about at conventions was like, the sculpts are great, this is great, that, but like the face deco just isn't quite there. So I think we were just really happy to take that kind of biggest pain point and turn it into something you guys love. So thank you.
It's terrific. Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Yes, up in the front.
Hello, Brian.
Is there a thought about including more women in the Imperial Officer line since we're getting them now in the books and the comics and television shows?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's a great question. Absolutely. We are looking, we know that Star Wars is a rich universe of men and women, and we are absolutely looking to bring them in all forms. So, absolutely. Yes, right there.
First of all, I would buy a George Sabah figure. So
Oh, thank you.
Second, I'd also buy Jar Jar Binks.
We're up to 4. We're up to 4. That's awesome.
The question I have is the archive collection cards. How do they compare to the 40th anniversary cards? Are they same size, a little smaller?
I think it's a good question. I think they're a smidge smaller.
I think they're slightly shorter.
Yeah.
You held them up recently. I can't remember what they were. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I think they're
Sorry,
a
I can't
smidge
remember what
smaller.
it was, Scott.
I think the short answer is I think they're a smidge smaller. The larger answer is that we announced on our live stream that kind of we looked to the vintage card back as inspiration because that's a classic form and we want this to be our classic, but we didn't look for specifics dimensions.
I think they are because of the illustrations on the front actually as an insert list.
You think they're the same size or
No, I
slightly
think they're
smaller?
slightly smaller.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
The illustration's in a different place.
Yeah, we didn't want to wed ourselves to that. We wanted to make the best looking art. But good question, yeah. Right there in the front, sir.
You've announced that the Barge is coming to Europe and outside of North America.
when you can, you've not announced where it's coming,
Yep.
but when are you going to be announcing to which retailers it will be coming?
I know.
Are you still working on that?
We are still working on it, so our answer is unfortunately the same. We've been saying all along, we are absolutely committed and we are planning to make this happen. We've been
Yeah.
saying that all along. We don't have any specifics, but we are absolutely working on the specifics.
When you do your next one, will you have those retailers locked in for the next product secretly with them?
That is the
the
hope.
rest of the world?
Yep, that is the plan. I'll say it's
Yeah.
the plan, not the hope.
You'll talk with whoever you lock up with to lock it.
Yeah, it might be different avenues, but that is the plan
And
for
it's
the
not
next
necessarily a
Hasbro.
question of like, oh, we're thinking about it, we'll start doing it in a little while.
Your aim is that
It's-
with all future.
Yeah.
The ink is not even wet on the paper to be able to
Your aim is to
categorize it.
release all future products.
That is the
That
aim.
system.
That is the need.
And we will, that's a good question. We will, when that becomes solidified and
Yeah.
firm, we will announce that.
Oh,
So
yes, we will.
you won't be left to kind of wonder, have they figured it out? We're excited to announce those details because we absolutely want to bring that amazing item around the world.
Yeah, Star Wars is made in England.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, right there, sir.
Made in England, weren't you, Steve?
I was made in England. Yes. I was.
First, I just want to thank you guys for announcing the great booth, because I would have been here for a couple hours asking for that if I didn't.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to know, when will Wave 4, the Force Link guys, like the Beckett Wave, when will that be up?
So Force Link Wave, I think later this fall, but okay.
Yeah, it's out.
So it should either be out or coming out. So it might be working its way through, but it should be out or out soon.
Thank you.
Yep. Is there anyone in the back that like has had their hand up
They've
for a
all
while? Yep, sir, right there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, Mrs. I love this book so far, but I have a question. Would you, are you going to add more characters from the legends, from the legends lines into that? Because as I recall, one of the more famous figures that was released before Disney was so to stuff, before Disney was so to stars was a Ina Solo action figure. Now, I'm not asking to release that, but are we going to see more characters from the legend, from the Star Wars Legends line, like her brother Siri Tati, etc., all that?
Like a Joris Chabot, maybe.
Yeah, so
like in the Legends line.
Absolutely.
Like in the
Absolutely.
Legends with that
Yeah.
line.
So yeah, thank you. So it's yes is the answer. I can't say which ones we're looking at, but we've been speaking with Lucasfilm, and we appreciate there is a certain amount of demand for Legends characters, and we kind of able to kind of bring back out Darth Revan and things like that. So we're the menu is getting wider in terms of what we can release, and obviously we're not going to kind of release all of them all at once because we have lots of things to kind of be able to do. But yes, there will be more Legends characters available to us and to you. Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question. Yep. Who has had their hand up for a while? Sorry, we'll touch base with you guys later. I think you've had your hand up for a while. Yes. Last question.
The 8 remaining TVC figures, will we know those by the end of the year?
No. Well, it's great. We don't want to like bring all the fun because then you don't have anything to look forward to.
I wanted to bring all the fun.
Yeah, so some of them will be revealed later this year, some of them early next year.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much.